What's up? What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Take two. We're doing another episode of James Massey Live, where we're interviewing agents that's killing it within their marketplace in order to provide tremendous value to the real estate agent that's looking to grow and build their business. And I'm super excited to have with me my partners, Craig and Annie Nash. And we're going to kind of go into their whole process and what they've been able to build, how they've been able to grow together. But before we get into all of that, I always like to start off with the origins. And I know both of you all had your own separate individual journey to get into real estate. Can y'all tell me, one at a time, what was your story? How did you get into this whole field?
Sure. So the way I got into real estate was that we needed to sell our house in Chapin, South Carolina. And I never had a real good experience with a realtor. So I went and got my license and sold my house. Started out with Coldwell Banker. My broker left Coldwell Banker, and that's when I decided to do all the research that I wanted to find out which was the best brokerage, and I found EXP. You, James, just happened to call me on the right day. So I was like, hey, you started showing me videos like, hey, stop, I've seen it. I'm coming. I just got to do a couple things, and I'll be there. And I'm here. So.
Love it, man. Love it. I mean, I always say, you was one of the quickest decision makers with this whole thing that I've ever had. It was like, hey, man, I'm done. I'm coming. You don't have to show me anything else. I already seen it. Let's do it. But funny enough, we started working together. Your wife was obviously, not obviously, but she was working another job at that time. And, I was kind of showing you some of the stuff that, we had within our group and things of that nature. We went out of town together. You brought your wife, I brought my wife. And then, Annie, I'm going to let you kind of, tell your origins and how you got into it, from there.
Yep. So as you said, I was in a completely different field. So I was in the nuclear power industry for about 20 years. And kind of ignored the whole, hey, real estate is really cool. Looks like a lot of fun. And I got to go to Cabo with y'all, as the +1, and, just being around all those people and hearing the stories and hearing how the Lord worked in everybody's life. And then I'd been hearing him talk to me about it a little bit. And then we went home and I was like, EXP, okay, now I get it. I understand why you went to EXP, what this was about. Because he'd talk about it and I'd be like, okay, yeah, I don't understand the splits, the rev share, but whatever. You're loving what you're doing and I love that. And then I came home and I went, how do I get to do that too? Because that would be a lot of fun and it would be much more fulfilling because I love helping people. That's what I'm called to. I just love it. So fast forward, I think we came home and like a couple months later, I signed up for a real estate class. I did it at night because I had a full-time job and I couldn't tell them, hey, yeah, I'm going to go get my license. And they'd all look at me like, you're a little crazy to do that. And then I got through class and decided and kind of heard that, hey, no, it's if not now, when are you going to make this jump? Because what we had talked about and prayed about was that I would do it part-time until like about April or May of 22. And then I would jump in full time. And I went the Monday before Thanksgiving. We had 30 people staying in our house. And I snuck away to go take my test, got out of it, passed, called him and was like, woohoo, now you can tell everybody that I went and got my license because I passed the test. And December 31st was my last of 21 was my last day in the corporate world. And I jumped in with both feet into real estate and I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. But I've loved it. It's got challenges and stuff like that, but man, has it been an amazing first year in real estate. And I've got between you and him and everybody else on the team and within EXP, I mean, it's amazing. I love it. I love all the help and support that we have.
A couple of things you said, first, what was your job again?
I was in the nuclear power industry. I started out, I went to Georgia Tech. I'm a civil engineer, specialized in structural. I started in engineering within nuclear power, did structural design, seismic design. So on the nuke plants with a seismic event, we're good. If there's a seismic event, that's where you want to be. But I did that. I did engineering management. I did project management. I did senior reactor operator stuff. I did all the different things. I would jump from one thing to the next because I'd be like, oh, Annie, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know. I like this. It's okay. Well, hey, let's try this next thing. And I just kept going from different thing within the industry, and because I hadn't found what I wanted to be when I grew up. Now I know.
Now you know.
Well, I know.
So Craig, man, I know I know you're a strategic guy, right? You know, and I know you do research and everything. So I got to ask you this question. So like when you was telling your wife about, you know, EXP and telling them about our group and everything, at that time, were you kind of planting seeds that, hey, this is something that you need to be doing with me, or was that just, you know, just excitement and you just,
Well, it was a little bit of both. I was very excited about EXP, but also at the same time, I seen the stress that my wife was under, and I could just see that she wasn't happy where she was. And then, just knowing her heart and understanding her, I knew she just wanted to help people, and she wasn't really in a position where she could do that. So,
yeah. So all right, so Annie, so like all right, so you go to Cabo, right? So I mean, did you have to twist your arm very much to go to Cabo?
Oh, not at all. I was super excited to finally get to go to something where I got to be the plus one, because I've hauled him around to different conferences and whatnot within nuclear power, and I get to come out of all of our stuff during the day, and he'd be like, oh yeah, we went and did this, and I hung by the pool. And this time it was my turn to go, oh, I'm going to go hang by the pool. And then I think, because we did stuff each evening, but I think the last day I kind of got to sneak in and see a little bit behind the curtains, I think. And I was like, I'm sold. But talking to everybody, hanging out at the pool, meeting you and Tamara, it was just awesome.
Those events are really cool because if you go hang around the pool, you get to talk to Chuck Fazio, you get to talk to Brent Gove, they're all there, just normal people, and they're willing to pour into you. So it's really cool that you have that opportunity in a very relaxed setting. So,
yeah. All right. So you come to Cabo, you go get your real estate license, you decide to quit your job, your pretty successful job, I would say, for that. And now we're in a situation where we're looking to expand. And I know me and Craig has talked a few different times, going from a single agent by himself to now building a real estate team. What does that journey look like?
A lot of hard work.
Well, and some of it, I think you did a lot of the hard work, the recruiting people. But for me, it's just been we got a handful of people from my license class, just the excitement of EXP, the excitement of starting this new journey. It just kind of naturally drew people. But it changed what you could do last year. You poured a ton into our team because we were a lot of new agents.
Yeah, it was interesting getting people kind of trained up to where we are now as a different team than we were last year. And this year we're going to grow some more, and it'll be a same kind of situation where we pour into the new people, but at the same time, my not so rookies anymore are really, really starting to produce and really starting to get it and starting to, click with them.
Well, and they're starting to recruit to the team also.
Yeah. So which is really, it's exponential growth all of a sudden, which is really cool. So,
yeah. I mean, at the same time, I know Annie said that she likes to help people, and you said that you like to help people as well. But I mean, you're pretty much doing the same thing. I mean, if you're taking time for yourself to pour into another agent in order for them to be successful, for them to grow, and in turn, now because of that growth, you've kind of built a culture where people are so comfortable that they want to invite other people to actually join the team itself, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Which we're seeing that now, where we got 3 people coming on probably the next couple of weeks. They're going to be brand new agents, but they came from another agent that has been talking about EXP with them. So, and they're, I've talked to all of them. They're excited about joining our team and want to just really dive into it. So it's really exciting in that way. So,
So how many agents are on your team right now?
Right now we have 7. We're going to 10 and hopefully 11 real shortly too. The 3 should be on within the next 3 weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, they're in their last bit of class.
Yeah, and then I got 1 that's an experienced agent that I'm talking to right now, and hopefully she'll make the decision to come this way.
Hopefully she'll see the light.
All right, so let's kind of talk about that, man, because like the amount of growth. I mean, this market has shifted. A lot of people are nervous about them being able to make sales, and people are not growing. But I mean, you just went from
that doesn't compute to me. I don't understand that at all. I don't see where it's not growing. I don't. I love the market we're in right now.
Well, it was funny because like you had given us, hey, this is kind of what we're going to talk about. So we were talking about it before we got here, and I laughed because, like, yeah, the market, it was like a switch in about June, July of last year, and like I don't know any different than you've got to stick to the basics of calling people, having conversations, and all of that piece, but also paying attention to what other agents are doing and talking to people and just talking to builders, going to all of the events that you can go to learn about the market and I think I did that just as part of trying to understand a completely different industry for me, but it's keeping your head on a swivel and just doing the work. I don't think it's ever been easy.
Yeah, the one thing I tell all the agents that says this is a job, you have to actually work at it. It's not just going to fall in your lap, So, but once they get it and clicks with them, then they're more than willing to do the work, and then they see the value of what they're doing.
So all right, so let's just do like timeline, right? So all right, so we get together. How long we've been partnered up so far?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Okay.
Something like that.
And we went to Cabo. What was that?
A couple years ago. Early on.
It was April of 21.
Yeah, April 21. All right. So, when did you start your real estate team?
Just a year ago.
December of 21.
December of 21.
Okay. So from December of 21 to today's date, you've grown to 11 agents.
Yeah, basically.
You would call that exponential growth, right?
Well,
yes.
I mean, just going from within a year's time frame. Most agents, their whole goal is to, man, if I can make 6 figures in a year, that'll be all the world with me. And your goal is to get 11, 12, 15, 20, 30 agents to hit that goal. And because your goal is so big that you're attracting other people that to be able to help them. Zig Ziglar said it all the time. He said, like, the best way for you to get what you want is to help enough other people to get what they want. And that's really what this whole model, this whole partnership is all about, because it's a giving thing. So the more you give, the more you get. You keep your hand open and for other people to be able to give to, but you start receiving more and more, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it works, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible in that respect. So
yeah. So all right, so like you said, like the market shifted, but you're not feeling any difference. In fact, like you're loving it. And at the same time, like I think the difference is like you built and is focusing in on your business the right way. Like what are some of the things that you all are doing that you may or may not even know that other people are not doing to keep your business going forward and thriving instead of just surviving in this market?
Go ahead.
I have to say, picking up the phone and making phone calls and keeping in touch with people, even when they tell you, oh, maybe I'm interested in this, maybe it'll be a few months down the road, but just constantly dripping, because they'll be interested eventually. Just picking up the phone and having conversations constantly.
So a couple things I learned early on in my career was you cannot be a secret agent. Everybody has to know that you're a freaking real estate agent. That way they recognize you as the expert. Okay. And then coming over the XP, I heard Joe Hollow speak about the 25-10 board, which is 25 conversations about real estate, leads to 10 appointments, face-to-face appointments, leads to 4 deals. Well, once you just get your agents start doing that on a consistent basis, they actually start seeing the results of that because it works. It amazingly works. And then, you can go from doing that board once a month to doing it once a week, and then it just explodes. So
What are some of the things that you're doing to accountability is huge, right? You can tell people that this is what they should be doing, but what are things that you're doing to keep your agents accountable to that format that you just laid out?
So we have weekly meetings, and we kind of have my agents go through some commitments that they're willing to commit to on a week, and then we discuss what the obstacles were where they couldn't meet those commitments, or if they met them, great. What were the results from doing that? Whether it's making, I want to make 25 phone calls, or whatever it is, or I'm going to actually get up and go work out. Well, did you go do that? And just start holding people, not really holding them accountable, but understand that they have a commitment to do this. And then if there was an obstacle, well, is that really a commitment for you, or is that something else that you need to get out of your way? So you can actually grow and build your business.
A lot of people, they don't like to be, a mirror held up, right? And they don't enjoy that. But I do like what you said about that commitment thing. Like, are you still willing to honor that commitment that you said? Because like I said, everybody wants the goal, but everybody's not necessarily willing to do what it takes.
Yep.
So I think that's a nice way of saying, hey, do what you said you're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Well, and another thing that I've seen Craig do as kind of the lead to start us is, like, he's got his 25-10 board, and he sets the example for us. So we've got a group chat within the team members that want to be on the group chat. And so, like, weekly, we'll be like, hey, what's your board look like? How are you doing? How can we help? Where's your stumbling blocks? And he'll be the first one, especially when yours isn't where it needs to be. He'll be like, hey, here's my board. Here's my commitment. I'm going to make these calls or do this, whatever it might be. What do y'all need? Where are y'all stuck? So he sets the example of, here's how we succeed, but also when we have hard times, look, he's also, struggles at picking up the calls or picking up the phone sometimes. So I think it sets a good example for everybody else to realize you don't always have to be perfect, but you always have to work at it.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to sum that up, I would say leaders lead. That's really where it boils down to. I mean, setting an example, doing it yourself, and then turning around and showing the team, like, this is how I'm doing it. Hey, come follow me with this whole process. All right. So I already know y'all are very goal oriented. So we're like, all right. So we're January 26th, right? I mean, almost a month into this year. Like, what's the goal for the team right now?
Well, you and I talked about this. It's 60 million this year, so that's a big goal, and I have to get more team members to do that. But
we're gonna do it.
But we're gonna do it. And to be honest with you, we've had an amazing start to this year. I mean, we got about 4.5 million listed or under contract right now for this year. So it's just we'll get there.
Yeah. Love it, man. So I mean, just to kind of, I mean, I know, from us talking or whatever, but I mean, how is this year's goal so different from, say, goals in the past that you made for yourself?
So exponential growth.
Yeah.
So where were we last?
It wasn't even, I mean, we did like 8 last year. It's not even close. So, I mean, wow, and this is all, I got to give John Kitchen a shout out because he's the one that actually will push you to do those things. And, so to really think bigger than what you actually think that you can do, because you can, you just have to change your mindset.
Yeah.
So,
but just the whole idea of actually starting a team, like the mind had to start shifting from there. That I'm not just going to be just a single agent, but I'm going to build and I'm going to grow a team. And then going from there, within a year of growing the team, first year you do 8 million, and then because of a mindset shift, and it's like, all right, if I can do 8, I can do 60. If I can do 60, I can do 100. If I can do 100, like literally, that's what happens. And when you get around people that are like, high producers, top 1%, like immediately, you got one or two choices. You either gonna fall back down to what you're comfortable with, and and be on that level pretty much forever, or you're gonna rise to the occasion. But in most cases, I think that people that are hungry, smart, and willing to take those things on, they rise, and that's what you're doing right now.
Yep. I mean, it was cool to see some of my agents that started out last year. They were like, I'd be happy to do 3, 4 houses, and now they're like, their goal's way more than that. Just in a year's time, they're like, well, I can do a heck of a lot more because I did 4 houses this last month. I I could do 48 in a year. So
yeah. I mean, but just talking about numbers. I mean, like you said, you did 8 last year, but just because of a mind shift of throwing 60 out there, here's in January, you got over 4 million under contract right now. I mean, so half of what you did last year is already under contract.
Already there. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
that's pretty amazing. So like, but it's like I said, it's a testament to you all, following the system, following the plan, putting in the work. I try to pride myself on being at every event, but what makes me happy is when I bump into you at every event as well. And we ain't even talked about it. Like, oh, Craig, you here? I didn't know you was gonna be here. Andy, what's going on? I didn't know you was gonna be here. But you're a student, right? You constantly learning, constantly getting the information because you understand that that's the recipe for your success.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. You have to go to the events because that's where you learn and you grow and you expand yourself. So,
and you make connections.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So Annie, you all are now working together, right? And with y'all working together, like I work with my wife as well. So like, all right, I gotta ask this question because I know people out there, they want to know. So what are some of the challenges that come up, when working with a spouse or working with, maybe just a partner, period?
So we have.
Notice I didn't ask Craig first because
So we have very different. I don't know, just the way that we work. So he has to have his office. We're in his office today. His is in our upstairs. My office is downstairs. So we're on different floors. But realizing that we have to kind of set our work hats on sometimes and then turn those off so that we can go on dates and have fun and not.
I'm a distraction for her more than anything. So
yes. Because he'll walk in and be like, hey, so what you doing? And can we talk about this? I'm like, no, I'm working with a client right now. No, I have things to do. So we've started, it sounds weird, but we've actually started scheduling, hey, here's the time when we're going to work together and collaborate on whatever the brainstorming thing might be that we need to do. But it's taken the year to really get to where we can do that and not hurt feelings and not just get irritated with, come on. But I wouldn't change it. I really do like it. Once we got adjusted to it, I really do like it.
All right. Now, Craig, you're going to answer the question now.
No, I actually love working with her. I admit that I am a big distraction for her sometimes. I want to talk about something right then and there where I don't realize that she's doing something else. But that's it's not really a challenge per se, as far as it's a different lifestyle, I guess, more than anything.
Well, and realizing that we look at things differently. So even just the way that we'll write a contract out or an offer, we'll talk through it and I come at it one way and he comes at it a different way. And so I've had to not be so defensive sometimes when he's like, you really maybe guide your client this way. This would be a better offer, or here's a better counter or something like that. And I'm just opening up and listening to it, because I mean, I'm lucky I have a constant mentor with me through this journey with him right here. And sometimes I have to realize that, that he's not just arguing with me. He's making me better.
Yeah. You know, we've talked about this before, James, that, you know, it's like, you know, I could say something to her and somebody else could say something to her. It's
the same thing.
And she'll take it from the other person, not me. But,
yeah. I'm getting better at that though.
That's why it's good to be in a group, right? So like, you got other people. I mean, I can tell you how many times where it was like, all right, you know, hey, somebody, you know, this person just did a webinar. You know, you might want to look at that. You know, and then, oh, that webinar was great. It was awesome, and I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna do this. Like, yeah, I told you that like a month ago. But hey, as long as you get it, that's all that matters, right?
Exactly.
Help the family, help the household. Let's go.
Yep.
So what? Funny story. One of our agents actually described our personalities very, very, very funny. She's like, you know, if you want a simple, straight to the point answer, you go ask Craig. If you want an answer that is going to explain the detail of everything all around the answer, and then get to the point, you ask Annie. You know?
If you want your response in 2 words, ask him. If you want it in 5,000, come talk to me, and we'll walk through the whole thing. Yeah, you know, so I had to take that and go. Ooh.
But that's great though. Like, because you got people that they need that around, and you know, like, you know, those many words and examples and descriptions, and you got some people that's like, hey man, just give me the answer. I'm one of those people like, hey man, hey, if you can answer it in like 3 words, we good. You know, like, answer the question and I'm gone. You know, but you know, my wife is different. Like, she's gonna give you the whole example and all this other stuff. But the main thing is that everybody's being able to benefit. Everybody's being able to get what's needed.
Yeah. And that conversation made me realize, because like a lot of the frustration and the friction at the beginning was, I didn't understand why that, you know, he'd give me a 3 answer and be like, but what does that mean? Tell me all of that. Words have meaning. And that's a lot of my previous background is words are very important. So if you use a certain word, it means something. And so I need to understand. And so sometimes I spew that on people. You need to understand why you're writing this the way that you are, what that means. And so it's like, oh, maybe I don't need to do quite as much of that. But yeah, that's the big differences.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. So for an agent that that's looking to grow and build a team, and you know, they're looking at the current conditions, and you know, maybe they've heard that, you know, the market shifted, people aren't selling houses, or it's hard or whatever. But they're trying to ignore that, and they want to actually build a team. They want to achieve and accomplish some of the stuff that you all have been able to accomplish. What suggestions do you have for them?
Get hooked in, don't give up, and talk to people. If you want to build your team, talk to people. People are drawn to your excitement about it. But stay hooked in, because people like you, James, you've been a tremendous amount of help to this team and to our group and all of the information that you give out. EXP is collaboration over competition. We work together. That would be my
biggest thing I would tell people is to get out of your own way and just do it. I mean, that's most of the time people get in their own way and prevent themselves from actually doing it. So once you just get out of the way of yourself, then you can do it. So
love it. And you know what? Like, you know, those 2 answers were separate, but it was exactly spot on. Craig was like boom, 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 and he was a little colorful, but all together, I think everybody got the big picture. So, so once again, you know, I just want to, you know, thank you all for coming up. You know, we do these every Thursday at 11, where we're interviewing agents that's killing it in their industry to provide tremendous value to a real estate agent that's looking to grow and build. You know, if you want to know more about, you know, building a team or partnering, or what it looks like, you know, within us, you know, within ourselves, I mean, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Craig, you can reach out to Annie. You know, we're open book. You know, we've been blessed, and we're, you know, because we've been blessed, we're willing to share, because we know that's how we get, right? So once again, y'all, I mean, I appreciate you all for popping on. and super looking forward to the next event and continue to see y'all grow. I'm looking for those multiple agents, and I'm looking for that 60 million.
There you go.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right.